Your taste pleasure or the animal life? What do you think has more value?
Considering my choices, it's obviously the tasting of meat. Otherwise, I wouldn't buy it.
There's nothing I can say about that, right? It's your own value. How did you feel watching this footage?
Do we look at you? Do we look at the camera?
Whatever you want. I just want your complete honesty. That's it.
How do I feel looking at the footage?
Yes.
Well, it feels very, very tough to watch.
Yeah.
Like you see all these animals suffering, so it doesn't feel great.
Okay. What do you think can be done to stop it?
What do I think can be done to stop it? Well, part of me thinks this is just the consequence of people eating meat.
Okay.
And to me, I also eat meat, and it feels therefore also good that I'm aware of these things. That's part of me. Another thing would be maybe laboratory meat, or like the video also said, just going vegan.
Okay. And what will you take from this video after you're watching it? Because you say you already make the correlation with eating meat, right? So
yeah.
Actually, before answering that, let me ask you: are you against animal abuse?
Well, sure, yeah.
And what you saw right there, would you call it animal abuse?
Certain things, yes. Other things, not necessarily. Like,
okay.
I think it's difficult when how you define abuse, because it feels weird that it's like really this mechanical thing, this industry. That's kind of weird to me. But at the same thing, if something is done using minimal harm, I think we can also see it as a necessary evil.
Okay. But do you think we need to consume animal products?
What's the question?
Do you think we need to consume animal products to survive?
No, of course not. No, it's more like a luxury thing, something which is nice to have, but it's certainly not a requirement to live as a person. No.
So, if we don't need to consume animal products to survive, and there's inherent cruelty behind creating animal products, don't you think we have the moral obligation to abstain from eating animal products?
So, like, yeah, we do. But that does not mean that I'm going to eat vegan. Like, I see that we have this obligation, and I do think that it's good to do it. But at the same time, it's also a tough thing to ask from people, because people also really enjoy eating meat.
Yeah. So what is keeping you from being vegan, for example?
Basically, I just like the taste of meat, and I just enjoy it.
Have you tried any vegan meat?
Yeah, I have.
And do you think the difference in taste between a vegan meat and the regular meat is worth what you saw on the screen?
Sometimes, yeah, I do.
Okay.
And I also think that vegan meat is way more expensive. It's sometimes like double the price. So if these two things would be mitigated, I would definitely eat vegan.
Well, let's just say let's take it one step at a time, okay? I'll tackle the price thing. So, obviously, there are vegan meats that are more expensive than regular meat, but there are also regular meats that are more expensive than other meats or than vegan meats, right? Because
it's true, yeah.
There's high quality food everywhere, and there's low quality food everywhere, regardless of whether it's vegan or not, right?
It's true, yeah.
So, it's just as far as I see it in this particular case, it's just a matter of finding the right products that work for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you were to find a vegan meat that was in your price range, which would also taste good to you, would that incentivize you to stop eating meat?
Well, yeah, of course.
So then, what is keeping you from searching for that meat?
What is keeping me? Well, that I don't believe that these products exist, and also, yeah, mainly that. And sometimes as I've mentioned, I just like the taste of meat better than the products we have right now. And sometimes not eating meat is fine with me, or sometimes even for extended periods. But cutting it out altogether, that's something which I find tough.
Okay, so you said multiple things there. Okay, but let's tackle first this taste thing, because you also mentioned it before. So, what is worth more to you, not to people in general, but specifically to you? Your taste pleasure or the animal life? What do you think has more value?
Well, I mean, considering my choices, it's obviously the tasting of meat. Otherwise, I wouldn't buy it.
That's what your actions say, right?
Yeah.
But is that also what you believe?
Well, I mean, partially.
Partially.
For a part, I mean, especially when you see these videos, it's like, obviously it's cruel and it needs to be stopped, and it's better not to do it.
Okay.
But let's say you have a rough day or a rough week or something comes up, and you just want to give yourself a little treat, well, then it becomes a tough thing to abstain from it.
Okay, let me pose a hypothetical to you.
Sure.
I'm having a rough day. I'm having a rough week, and it's something that I want to give myself a little treat. So I'll just go slaughter a dog and eat the dog. How do you feel about that?
Well, like that's the thing. It's very context and culturally dependent because I think that a dog is not something you should kill, but I do see that it's kind of ridiculous to have that opinion because at the same time we're eating pigs.
Yeah.
Whereas in China you would eat a dog straight away, it's no problem. So it's a difficult discussion, I think.
So you see the moral contradiction because is there any
Yeah.
difference between a pig and a dog that says one deserves to die and one doesn't?
Well, that's a very nice question because on the one hand, of course, they're all the same. They're just animals, and in that sense, there's no difference. But culturally and historically, I think that there is a difference if you just look at how we treat dogs compared to pigs. But it doesn't mean it's justified or that it's right.
Yeah, exactly. And would you say that culturally there have been instances throughout our history where we have been immoral because of culture?
Well, like I think it's always difficult to kind of point at history and say this is right or this was wrong. So with my value systems, of course, yes, there have been instances. So yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So, as far as I understand, your position right now is that you understand that it's bad. Your morality says that it's bad. The only thing keeping you from stopping paying for it is the taste.
Yeah, the taste and the price.
The taste and the price.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, price specifically, of course, if you're gonna go for mock meats, they might be a bit more expensive.
Yeah.
But vegan food in general is cheaper than normal food.
No, that's true. So I like vegan cooking, like Indian dishes. So I'm really not opposed to that at all. I think that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say if we were to take price out of the equation because that can anyway get better with time, right?
Sure.
The more you go
Let's
into
do
it.
that.
Yeah, and as I said, with the same, it's true for animal products as it is for vegan products, where
Yeah.
some are cheaper, some are more expensive. It's just a matter of finding the right one for
Yeah.
you. So then the only thing keeping you from stopping paying for this is taste.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And what? Because the taste is it's not even that you're giving up a taste, but rather just replacing the taste with another different taste, right?
Well, sure. Yeah, it depends how you phrase it, right? But yeah.
Well, the way I see it is vegan food does taste differently, but it doesn't taste worse or necessarily in some cases better, but it doesn't necessarily taste worse or better. It's just a matter of difference, right? It just tastes differently.
Well, I think it also depends on what you like. Like to some people it tastes the same, to others it tastes better or worse. To me personally, I think sometimes I really feel the need to eat meat, and then a vegan option is just a bit less good.
Okay.
So, but still, you can argue that you should do that, even though it tastes worse. But well, but also sometimes not. Sometimes I don't care, and it's just I don't really give a damn about what I eat, and then sure.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you about the taste thing. It seems your mind is very made up about meat being a preference regardless of what other vegan options there are, right?
Well, like this is not always the case. But for example, I ate vegan for a month, and I went to a dinner with my sister because she had her propedeuse from the university, and the chef cooked for me like a vegan steak made from watermelon. And at that point, it's like, oh, nice that I'm eating this vegan option, but at the same time, it's really doesn't even come close to an actual steak. So yeah.
Yeah, but you only tried that one, right? It's the same as saying I'm going to a restaurant, I'm taking a steak, and then I'm comparing it to the best restaurant that I've been and gotten a steak, right? It's not all steaks taste the same everywhere, right? It's the same as all vegan food. Not all vegan food tastes the same. Not all vegan steaks taste the same.
Of course, like I mean, I wouldn't know how it would taste if my grandma would make a vegan steak, but I mean, you do get an impression, I guess.
Okay.
And I think it's already like I feel like most people have never even eaten a vegan steak at all. So at that point,
Okay. So as far as I understand, you kind of value that taste difference more than an animal's life. So there's nothing I can say about that, right? It's your own values. Okay, but let me ask you, what would incentivize you to change your opinion about that, to go vegan?
Well, I think that's a good question. So one thing which would really help me is just some meal plans, some diet options, because I oftentimes kind of want to eat vegan, but I'm not really sure how to make an easy and tasteful meal for myself. And I have like, let's say 4 vegan meals and 4 meat meals. To me, it could also be 6-2 or 8-0, but I would have to learn these vegan options. So I think that would be a great option for me personally.
Okay, and if I were to give you exactly that, would that incentivize you to go vegan?
Yeah, it would.
Okay,
Like not always for the rest of my life, but it would definitely make a change.
okay. I can't ignore that. Why not always for the rest of your life? Is it because I understand, as far as I understand it, it feels like a large commitment to make, right?
Yeah.
Is it because of the commitment thing?
Partially, sure. I
Partially.
mean, I'm a 24-year-old guy who knows what life's gonna throw at me,
Okay.
and like if I have more recipes, I'll try them out. I'll eat more vegan meals, at least for let's say the next month. Possibly because it's gonna be a habit for the next decade. That's certainly sure.
Okay.
But let's say I'm here at the station
Yeah.
and I want to have a quick bite and I really like the taste of a ham croissant. I would also need something for that particular situation. Or
I mean, there's options now. And
yeah,
time to go.
but then you get to the point that it tastes different. Or let's say you come out of the nightclub after a night of drinking beers and you want to start shawarma. You would also need something for those situations.
No, I agree, but the thing is, this taste different thing. I feel like, I mean, I guess you're very young, right? You haven't really had this experience, but the taste thing is that if you actively believe that it's wrong what we are doing and you're trying to change, your taste will also change. Taste changes along with what you eat continuously, right? So if you continue to eat vegan food more and more and more, and at some point just vegan food, then meat will not taste good for you anymore. That's what happened to me, right?
I mean, I do believe that because I have a friend who is like vegan, and to him meat is just doesn't even taste good. So,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. Well, okay. I'll just I'll give you a card which will give you all the resources you need, as you mentioned.
Nice.
There's a thing on it called Challenge 22. If you go there, if you subscribe to it, it sends you recipes every day
Okay.
on how to be vegan.
Yeah.
It also tells you what you need to supplement in case you need to supplement it.
Okay.
And there's also personalized help there in case you have specific questions.
Yeah.
Somebody will log in with you on the Discord server or something, and
Nice.
they'll provide you with extra help that you need.
Okay.
And there's also more footage of what you just saw if you want to see more of that.
Yeah. Right.
And to get more accustomed, because maybe you have questions on why we can't eat eggs, why we can't eat cheese, or something like that. A lot of people don't really understand. I
Yeah.
also didn't understand that at first,
Yeah, yeah.
so I had to research that. And I'll give you the card, and I'll just leave you with, you can obviously take your time. I suggest that you strongly look into it and see, because you're against this, right? And it's just about aligning your actions. And I'll just let you know that I'm 36, and my only regret in life, honestly, is
Yeah.
not being vegan sooner.
All right.
That's the only regret I have, which
So-
sounds kind of weird, but
Yeah.
all vegans have that regret.
All right.
I would say 3 times per day you make this choice. One pays for what you saw in the video,
Yeah.
and one doesn't, and that's the vegan option. So if you have that option, always try to go for that option, I would say. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And one person, you going vegan, can save up to 100 animals per year.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
think about it from the victim perspective, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what veganism is about. It's about the victims.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
give you the card right now.
Yeah.